You've spent months building your Faceless YouTube channel. Your thumbnails are getting better, your editing is faster, and your views are finally starting to grow. So you hit the Apply for Monetization button. And then you wait. A few days later, the email arrives. Your channel was not approved. Maybe the reason says repetitive content. Maybe it says your content does not feel original enough. Or maybe it simply feels like YouTube does not understand the work you put into your channel. This is one of the biggest fears for faceless creators, because you may feel like you are doing everything right. You are using AI tools, making videos faster, posting consistently, and trying to build a real channel. But there is one big problem. If your videos feel like they came from the same AI content factory as everyone else, it becomes harder to stand out. And that is what I call the factory content trap. The truth is, AI tools are not the problem. The real problem is generic content, generic voice, generic script, generic pacing, and generic style. When thousands of videos use the same voice, the same rhythm, and the same template, the content can start to feel repetitive. Not just to YouTube, but to real viewers too. And if your content feels repetitive, your channel becomes easier to forget. YouTube wants content that feels useful, authentic, and different enough to bring value to viewers. So today, we are going to talk about how to fix that. We are going to talk about how to build a real voice identity for your faceless YouTube channel. Not just an AI voice, a voice brand. Let's start with the biggest mistake many faceless creators make. They pick the most popular AI voice they can find. And honestly, I understand why. A popular voice usually sounds smooth, professional, and ready to use. But here's the problem. If everybody is using the same voice, then that voice does not feel special anymore. It does not help people remember your channel. It does not create a strong brand identity. And over time, your videos may start to sound like everyone else's videos. This is why, when I look for a voice, I do not just choose the most popular option. I think about the feeling I want my channel to have. Do I want it to sound calm and educational? Do I want it to sound warm and friendly? Do I want it to sound like a documentary? Do I want it to sound like a mentor? Or do I want it to sound more young, energetic, and modern? This is where a tool like ElevenLabs becomes useful. You can explore different voice styles, tones, ages, accents, and delivery types. But the goal is not just to find a good voice. The goal is to find a voice that matches your brand. Because for a faceless YouTube channel, your voice is a big part of your identity. Your audience may not see your face, but they hear your voice. And over time, that voice becomes part of what they remember. But choosing the voice is only the first step. The real reason many AI videos feel fake is not always the voice itself. A lot of the time, the problem is the script. Real humans do not speak perfectly all the time. We pause, we breathe, we change speed, we get excited, and we slow down when something is important. But many AI scripts are written in a very flat way. They are too clean, too perfect, and too smooth. And that can make the voiceover sound robotic. So instead of just writing a script, I like to think of it as directing a performance. I do not want the AI voice to just read the words. I want it to perform the message. That means I add natural human rhythm. I use commas where I want a small breath. I use a dash when I want a stronger pause. I use shorter sentences when I want the message to feel clear. And sometimes I adjust a sentence so it sounds more natural when spoken out loud. For example, instead of writing, "This is the mistake that hurts many faceless creators," I might make it sound more conversational and say, "And this is the mistake that hurts many faceless creators." The difference is not about making the script messy. It is about making the delivery feel more intentional. A small pause, a better sentence shape, or a more natural word choice can make the voice sound more human, more confident, and more connected to the viewer. This is very important if you use ElevenLabs or any AI voice tool. The tool can create a strong voiceover, but the script still matters. If you give it flat text, you may get flat audio. But if you guide the performance with better pacing, better emotion, and more natural rhythm, the result can feel much more real. That is the difference between using AI as a content factory and using AI as a creative tool. Now, if you want to take your voice brand even further, the next step is to stop depending only on public voices. This is where voice cloning can become powerful. Most AI tools offer some kind of quick voice cloning. You give the tool a short sample of your voice, and it creates a voice that sounds similar. This can be useful for testing. But if you want something more serious for your brand, you may want to look at a higher quality option, like professional voice cloning. With professional voice cloning, you use longer and cleaner voice samples. The goal is not only to copy the sound of your voice, the goal is to capture more of your tone, your rhythm, your emotion, and the way you naturally speak. That is why I like to think of it as a digital twin for your voice. Not a replacement for you, but a tool that helps your brand sound more consistent. For faceless creators, this can be a big deal because your voice becomes part of your brand. If you use your own voice identity, your videos do not sound like every other AI channel. They sound more like you, and that can help your content feel more personal, more original, and more trustworthy. Another reason this matters is language. If your brand voice is strong, you may be able to bring that same voice style into different languages, depending on the tool and model you use. This is powerful because your channel does not have to stay in only one market. You could create content for viewers in other countries while still keeping the same brand feeling. But let me be clear, that does not mean you should just auto-translate everything and publish it without checking. You still need quality control. You still need to review the message. And if possible, you should make sure the translation feels natural for that audience. Because the goal is not just to translate words. The goal is to keep the feeling of your brand alive in another language. Now let's talk about monetization beyond YouTube ads. Because a faceless channel is not only about getting views, it can become a real brand. You can use it to promote products. You can create affiliate content. You can build a newsletter. You can sell digital products. You can bring people to your website, and you can create videos for your own business. But to do that well, your brand needs to feel consistent. Your voice, your visuals, your message, and your style should all feel connected. This is why I like the idea of using AI tools inside a real creative workflow, not just random tools everywhere, a workflow. For example, you might start with your script, then you create the voiceover, then you create the visuals, then you add sound effects, then you edit everything into one clean video. The more organized your workflow is, the easier it becomes to create content that feels professional. And if you are using newer creative systems, especially tools that connect different steps together, you can build a process that helps you create faster without making everything feel generic. The goal is not to make more low-effort videos. The goal is to make better branded videos, faster. That is the difference. But voice identity is not only for videos. We are moving into a future where voice can become part of the full customer experience. Think about a business website. Instead of only having a contact form, imagine a visitor being able to talk to a voice agent. They ask a question, and the voice agent answers. It can explain what the business does, collect basic information, and depending on how it is set up, it can even help guide the person to book a meeting. This is where AI voice becomes more than content. It becomes part of the brand experience. Your brand does not only post videos, your brand can talk to people. And that is why voice identity matters so much. Because if your brand voice feels cold, generic, or robotic, people may not trust it. But if your brand voice feels helpful, calm, and human, people are more likely to stay connected. So let's bring this back to faceless YouTube monetization. The strategy is simple. Do not build a channel that sounds like a content factory. Build a channel that sounds like a real brand. That means choosing a voice with intention. It means adding human rhythm to your scripts. It means thinking about your tone, your pacing, and your audience. And if it makes sense for your brand, it may also mean building your own voice clone so your content sounds more original and consistent. Because at the end of the day, AI is not the identity. You are. AI is just the tool. And here is one more practical use case. Sometimes your audio is not perfect. Maybe you recorded something in a noisy room. Maybe there was background noise. Maybe the voice sounded thin or messy. Instead of throwing that recording away, you can try a tool like Voice Isolator to separate the speech from the background noise. Then, depending on your workflow, you may also use a voice tool to improve or recreate the performance in a cleaner voice style. This can be helpful for creators because audio quality matters. People may forgive simple visuals, but bad audio can make them leave very fast. So if you are building a faceless channel, your voiceover should not be an afterthought. It is one of the most important parts of your brand. AI is changing YouTube, but the rules of branding have not changed. People still remember personality, they remember trust, they remember style, and yes, they remember voice. So if you are building a faceless YouTube channel, do not only ask, how can I make videos faster? Ask, how can I make my channel feel more recognizable? Because speed can help you publish, but identity is what helps people remember. If you want to test this for your own faceless YouTube channel, I'll leave my ElevenLabs link in the description. You can start simple. Try a few different voices. Test how your script sounds with better pacing and rhythm. Use the voice isolator on messy audio, or experiment with building a voice style that feels more like your brand. You do not have to do everything at once. Start with one thing. Make your channel sound less generic. Because a faceless channel does not have to feel faceless. It can still have personality, it can still have identity, and it can still build trust. So remember this, do not be a factory worker. Be the director. Build the voice. Build the style. Build the brand. And if you are using AI, use it to make your content more you, not less you. If you have questions about AI voice, faceless YouTube channels, or building a stronger creator brand, leave them in the comments. I'm curious to see what you are building. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.